Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. Today we are doing Dan from Street Fighter, who is our last Capcom character, and technically speaking the last character we unlocked in the game. But we do still have one more character and then obviously kind of a final touches kind of thing to do, but I'll explain that at the end of the video because it's a little much to bog down the opening with. But anyways, yeah, we got this to do. It is very warm. I'm tired. I'm cranky, and this is yeah, it's gonna be one of those ones. Anyways, roll the intro. Okay, so we've only got two characters left, and today we're doing Dan, but I'll turn off that other character that you don't need to know about just yet. I'll talk about that next time. Well, I'll talk about it at the end of the episode, because obviously I will. But yeah, as I said at the beginning, it is very, very warm, and as such, I'm most likely not going to talk very much during this one because I need this fan on a lot. I'm going to need it on for basically the whole episode. So yeah, also the camera's a little off center, but yeah, anyways, let me just zoom in here and show off the wonderful Dan. I gave him kind of big feet. That was an accident, but I don't know if I really care enough to change it. I'm also gonna need to do a little bit of work on his face because, as you can see, he's got a bit of a weird face. He's doing he's having a little bit of a cry, as Dan is wont to do. But yeah, so yeah, I suppose I'll just start turning off all these characters that I don't need to have on. I'm already starting to get a little bit of sweat dribbling down my face, but it shouldn't be visible on the camera because I don't think the camera's high enough quality to pick that up. But yeah, I am going to try and speed run this intro here because yeah, as you can see, he does have kind of big feet. He's got big hands. He's a Street Fighter character. This hand could probably stand to be a little bigger, I think, actually. This other hand here is quite small. His upper hand is yeah, pretty big as compared to his other one. Again, there's a few bits of this which are going to need work, namely his face, because his face looks a little weird. This hand, because this hand is quite small, and potentially this foot. This foot looks a little weird to me, but I don't know, that might be just me. There's something about it which looks a little odd. It's obviously probably the toes facing forward. That's part of it. I don't think there's much I can fix there with the toes facing forward. They have to be facing forward based on the angle. His hair looks a little nasty here. I might try and fix that because it's kind of nasty looking. I don't know. That ponytail looks kind of really weird and gross. I don't know. Like Dan should look kind of weird and doofy, but I don't think he should look weird and greasy. That's kind of gross. I don't know about that. That's not the most pleasant looking thing in the world. But yeah. Face, I think predominantly the thing that I could do to fix this is just taper it in a little bit. I think it dips out too far. Given the angle of everything, I think it dips out too far. His eyebrows should be thinner. Ear could probably be bigger. Yeah, his ear is quite small as compared to the rest of his face. I'll probably have to make that bigger. Yeah, well, we'll see what I can do here anyways. But yeah, I will begin because I am having to wipe the sweat from my face. Anyways, I will begin. so that is our details done. I had to take basically like a half an hour break because of how boiling hot it is in here. But yeah, so that's our details done. I'll promptly move along to starting the dots. So yeah, I made some adjustments, as you probably saw. So the big ones were, I obviously made this hand bigger. I think I realized what the issue with this one was. I think it's because this arm is a little too long. Like this forearm is kind of short, but that's because he's pumping his arm in. And whenever you do that, less of you're obviously going to get a little bit of the bicep eating up space there, particularly whenever you have a big bicep. But here it's outstretched, so that's not happening. The bicep isn't kind of eating into the forearm space, but it is here because the arm is being pumped back. So that's kind of why that looks like that physically. I have the tears running down on this side of the face, but on this side of the face they're sprinkling out like in an anime. He's still got big feet, but yeah, not much I'm really intending on doing about that. He's just gonna have big feet. He's a Street Fighter character. They have big hands, they have big feet. But yeah, his feet are kind of big. They're not huge. They're not like super out of proportion or anything. They're a little bit out of proportion, but I can live with that. But yeah, I believe we will just move along. And which side am I having to? No, I have to do the dots on the right side. Okay, so I will do these dots and then I'll be back to do the colors. Dear God, I need this fan. Okay, so that is our dots done, meaning now it is time for colors. It is now time for the colors. I need to put it in this, even though I didn't need to. So yeah. It is already getting excruciatingly warm again. I think, God, could I just take a skin color from somebody else? See, Dan in a lot of this art has actually got quite a dark skin tone. But I think I could steal Ken's and make it just a tiny bit darker. That'd probably work, right? A little darker like that, like slightly more olivey. Something like this. That should work. Slightly darker skin tone, that'll work. That'll work for us. Alright. Okay, so I will turn on this background here. So brace yourself, it's about to get very blue. There. Now I will do these colors and then I'll be back to do the shading, then I'll do the light line, then we'll be done. Okay. Okay, that is our colors done. I have to take another break because it is deathly warm in here. But yeah, so now it is shading time, which means we are in the home stretch. We are very near the end. Yeah, just gotta get this finished and then I can have that fan on for the rest of the day. Yeah, it is, to my understanding, it is now the hottest day of the year if I want to date this video, but yeah. My understanding, at least, is so far it is the hottest day of the year. So yeah, there's that. Which means it probably wasn't a good idea to record this video today, because doing any recording obviously heats up the computer, meaning that the room gets about 10 times warmer. So yeah, that probably wasn't exactly a good idea on my part, but you know, the content must flow. Anyways, I'm going to do this shading now because I'm already starting to sweat. Okay, that is our shading done, which means now it is time for the light line, and then we will be completely finished. So, yeah, I am really baking here. So after I'm done this, I'm going to take a nice little stroll down the stairs and just sit down there for a while, because this room is a nightmare right now. But yeah, anyways, I will do this, then we'll be finished. No. Anyways, I'll do this light line very quickly and that'll be us. Okay. Okay. That is our light line complete, and the second I turned off that fan, I started sweating. So I'm going to basically speed run through the end of this. Yeah, that's Dan done. That is Dan. That is him complete. There we go. Zooming out. I should actually zoom back in quickly so that I can show off what he looks like against the white background. So brace yourself. It's about to get white. Bam. Alright, he looks fine. The pink stands out enough at least. Yeah, he's really like clutching the edge there. So Alright, I'll turn on all these other Capcom characters because we're done with the Capcom side now. That's them completely finished. And yeah, next time... Yes, this is the thing that I mentioned at the start of the video that we were going to discuss here. Is that next time we are doing Bone Claw Wolverine. And I did explicitly say, if you'll remember correctly, if you watched the early episodes of this mural, you would know that I said explicitly at the start of this series that I would not be doing Bone Claw Wolverine. But then I realized that we would be left off with an uneven number of characters, and I did not want that. So yeah, that would mean that we'd be left with how many on which side? We'd be left with an odd number anyways. We'd be left with 28 on each side, I believe. We'd be left with 28 on the Capcom side and only 27 on the Marvel side. Meaning we'd only have 55 characters in total, but they wouldn't be evenly distributed. So I thought to myself, oh, maybe I'll do Abyss or something. But then technically speaking, Abyss would actually be on the Capcom side because he's created specifically for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And that was another issue. So I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do Bone Claw Wolverine. And so yeah, that'll be next week's episode, the final character for the mural, and then there'll be another video of the mural the week after that where I will do the background. And I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do something basic, nothing too crazy. But yeah. So, and yeah, like I said 2 weeks ago, I think? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. At this point, well, from watching this anyways, it'll be 2 weeks ago with the Felicia episode. I mentioned that I do kind of intend to continue maybe doing the mural at some point of if I want to draw any of the kind of... If I don't have anything to do that week, if I don't have a better idea, I'll do another mural one, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, you've done everything for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And while that would be true, I might do, say, the characters from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite, and I might add them to it so that it becomes the entire roster of every game, and then plus maybe bosses and stuff like that. I'll throw them in. Who knows? Who knows? We'll think about it anyways. I don't quite know what we'll do. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Yeah. I suppose that will do us for today. Because yeah, I desperately want to end this video now because I'm incredibly warm. Despite the fact that this has actually not been that long, it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes, so it's been reasonably quick in terms of these episodes. It is now like the evening, even though I started in the afternoon, because of all those breaks I had to take because of how hot it is. Again, hottest day of the year. Definitely wasn't a good idea to do this today, but I didn't know that at the time. So, anyways, I will do the outro and then that will be us. So, if you like the video, do whatever it is that you'd normally do, whether that be liking or whatever it is that you'd normally do. Again, I am indifferent, really. Just as long as it's not a negative action that you take, I'll be happy. And yeah, if you would like to subscribe, it is the same deal. You've presumably seen a YouTube video before, so you know where the button is. If you want to hit the button, I'd be very happy. Ring that bell and all that stuff. But yeah, if you want to do that, I'd be very happy. But if for whatever reason you choose not to, I can live with that. And yeah, if you decide to watch the next video, I'll see you next time. My brain is slowing down quite a bit here because of the heat. But yeah. With all that said, that is us. So, I'll say goodbye and then I will leave you. So, yeah. Bye-bye.